the rain will continue to come in. Gary James has managed to come inside in amongst all this. I reckon that was a good call just as it began to, well, come down on the carts who were already prepared to go out on slicks.
Yes, there were, Tom. Yes, so the carts all lined up on the dummy grid on the Melbourne loop, ready to go, and obviously they all arrived on slicks, but some frantic tyre changing going on, which now looking out of the back of the comm box, doesn't appear to be any more rain hitting those windows, so this is going to be a bit of a mixture. Certainly the guys, I think, have made the right decision to come off of slicks because it's going to be fairly slippy out there, but whether they're going to actually completely shred a set of wet tyres, the race is still going to be over 15 minutes, so yes, this could prove interesting. If it does dry out as the race unfolds, those people that might have stayed on slicks, I can't obviously see from here who has made that gamble, but those that are on slicks might start to work their way to the front. But while we've got some time, I've actually got a grid sheet here, so with 59 carts on the grid, the grid positions based on a driver's fastest lap from the second race yesterday afternoon. So on pole position, having set another new lap record, is the GP kart of Liam Morley. He's joined by the 31 of Sam Moss. Row 2, 84 Matt Robinson and 19 Carl Hume. Row 3 is the 4 kart of Andy Gulliford and the 5 of Carl Kinsey. Row 4, the British champion Lee Harpham, and he's joined by the 87 of Jack Tritton. Row 5 is 68 Mark Edwards and 93 Ingvar Berger. Row 6, 22 Ben Parkinson and the first of the 250 monos, that's the 101 British champion of Lee Plain. Row 7, 36 Tom Baldwin. Great drive from the back of the grid to finish 4th in class yesterday, and he's joined on row 7 by the 57 of Anthony Williams. Row 8, 56 Michael Goff and 20 Johnny West. Row 9, the 9 of Mark Pask and 74 Will Lawrence. Row 10, all Parker Motorsport row, that's the 33 of Mark Newton in the Division 1 category, and he's joined by the 29 of Tom Hatfield in the 250 monos. Row 11, 32 Glenn Guest and 66 John Faulkner. Row 12, the 15 of Luke Clempson and 153 Martin Marks. Row 13, 52 Steve Burton and 14 Nathan Barton. Row 14, we see the first of the 454 strokes, and it's the 12 of Kevin Ridley that heads the row, joined by his partner in crime, and that's the S2 kart of Catherine Foster. Row 15, the 161 of Richard Connick and 185 Aaron Powell. Row 16, 50 John Busby and 139 Rob Randall. Row 17, we see the first of the 125 opens, that's the 643 of Ollie Holmes, and he's joined by the 44 of Jason Thompson. Row 18, 51 Luke Burton and 69 Costa Karitsis. Row 19, 62 Andy Powell and 59 Nick Flint. Row 20, 83 Paul Von Gerard and 143 John Reeder. Row 21, 34 Daniel Gerard and 117 of Luke O'Rourke. Row 22, 45 Chris Mackey and 58 Mary Howarth. Row 23 is an all 125 row, that's the 99 of Aston Baker and 17 Gary Potkins. Row 24, the 144 of Chris Balderson and 41 Fletcher Hearn. And then from row 25 to the back, these are the guys that didn't actually finish the race yesterday. So 43 Sean Lombardo and 35 Samantha Hempshall. Row 26, the 26 of Rowan McClintock and 40 Alan Flewitt. Row 27, 67 Daniel Thompson and the 0 kart of Paul Platt. Row 28, GP1 Kurt Catamol and 75 Kevin Dudley. Row 29, the 76 of Alex Dudley and 91 George Benton. And on the final row on his own is the 24 kart of Tom Rushforth. Now, obviously interesting to say that there are some quick drivers that, notably Sean Lombardo, Paul Platt, Tom Rushforth, Kurt Catamol and Samantha Hempshall really out of position in this grid due to the problems they had in that second race yesterday. So expect to see about 5 or 6 karts at the back of the grid trying to make their way through the pack in front to try and get to their what would normally be a normal position within their various classes. So yes, expect some action from basically from the front of the grid all the way through to the back of the grid. The race will still be over 15 minutes. as I say, we have got some drivers. In fact, no, Andy's showing that it's now being reduced to 10 minutes.
Information I've just received is that this is now going to be a 10-minute race, so, unfortunately. Yeah, so down to 10.
10-minute race, okay. So a mixture, I think, of drivers that are on wet tyres and some that are on slicks.
Your 144 of Chris Balderson is stopped in the pit lane waving his arm, so clearly
engine is running.
Yeah, it needs a push.
But I think whether there's a clutch issue, which means that, yep, he's up and running now. So Chris Balderson due to start from the 24th row, so he should be able to get back to that grid slot. But yeah, so as they go round on the warming up lap, just an update on the championship positions. Liam Morley, obviously 2 starts, 2 wins, extends his lead in the Division 1 category, 175 points now. And he's, 23 points now ahead of the 19 car of Carl Hume there in second place. Third at the moment is the 87 of Jack Tritton on 133, and fourth is Matt Robinson on the 127. Matt Robinson heading for a second place finish yesterday, but ran out of fuel on that closing lap and obviously dropped back to eventually finish, 8th place. So points thrown away for the 84 kart of Matt Robinson. Obviously in the 250 monos with the likes of Samantha Hempshaw and Paul Platt and Kurt Cattermore going off at McLean's, as we saw. That's now elevated the current champion in the category, Lee playing the 101, up into the lead of the series. He's now got 190 points. Tom Hatfield there in second place on 178, and Paul Platt there third on 170. So all to play for in the 250 mono category.
Absolutely, we're just checking out track conditions. It does still seem to be a fair amount of gentle rain, or at least rain is stable on the camera lenses throughout the circuit. We've got several drivers just at the end of the pit lane as well, waiting to start from that pit lane, I believe, who unfortunately just unsighted from our position. Can't quite actually see their driver numbers there, but they're staying behind the red lights at this stage.
Well, it could be, Andy, that they've obviously decided to change from wets back onto slicks, because the track...
14 has just seemingly done a similar job as well there than Nathan Barton.
Yep, so obviously if the track does start to dry, it's going to come towards him. In 10 laps, we're looking... 10 minutes, we're looking at about 8 laps, so...
So had they fitted...
Some of them are fitted wets.
They had gone for wets,
obviously because the downpour came down while they were sitting on the dummy grid, so... We've got a mixture of tyre choices out there, and let's see.
Here we go then. We're about to get underway with the safety car pulling in, and it will be Morley from Moss, and there's several drivers coming into the pits already.
Yeah, Sam Moss arm in the air, so he's going to bail out this time, but it's Morley that's leading through. The lights go out and away we go, and it's Morley with Carl Hume and Matt Robinson side by side, and who's that trying to creep up the outside? That might have been the 5 of Carl Kinsey, and snaking into Redgate. That was the 1 kart of Lee Harpham, shaking its head as a few spinners, well, they've all managed to get through, roughly through Redgate the first time, but it looks like it's Matt Robinson that's leading the way. Yeah, Morley's lost a lot of ground, back in about, 3rd, 4th place.
I think he was, I think he caught the event that was going on with the number 4, waggling his nose on the way into the corner, and I think possibly slightly spooked through there. But it does look like it's a change of tyre conditions here.
Well, Sam Moss into pit lane, and off is the 20 kart of Johnny West, already trying to drag it into a safe spot, but obviously people struggling. One of those that is struggling is the 19 kart there of Carl Hume that started on row 2, so I suspect that Carl is stuck with it on slicks, and a few of these guys gambling that it's going to dry out as this race unfolds, as they head down the exhibition straight for the first time, and it is the 84 of Matt Robinson that appears out of Roberts chicane for the first time, chased by the 4 kart of Andy Gulliford, an expert in conditions like this, won in the Aston race a couple of years ago. Third is the one of Lee Harpham, and it's Kinsey from Morley, and I think that was Tom Rushforth.
Yellow flag going into Redgate for that stopped cart on the infield.
Tom Rushforth already up to 5th place from the back of the grid. I spoke to him last night and said, what's your plan? And he said, well, I've obviously got to go for it, and to make up 50 odd places on this first lap with a mixture of tyres, as we say. But Rushforth now onto the back of Liam Morley as they head down through Craners. Is he going to put a move on him into the old hairpin? No, so it's Morley from Rushforth leading the 250 monos. It looks like
it's sitting up in the seat there. Yeah, it seemed to be sitting up in the seat to balance the car.
Exactly, yeah. So it's all about balancing the car and getting where the grip's going to come to them. But yeah, the 101 of Lee Plain putting a move up the inside of Morley. So Morley is clearly there on slicks, because he wouldn't be struggling against the 250 Nationals on those sort of tyres.
He was down, down 4 places as they crossed the finish line for the first time. So I think that's further places lost for Morley, and he's just hanging on now to see if the conditions come to him.
Leaders across the line, and it's Robinson from Gulliford. No Satawi. Is Gulliford going to dive out? Yes, he does. There's no way down to Redgate.
68 is in the pits, just out of the cart as well. But wow!
And it's Robinson and Gulliford. So clearly, those two drivers have made the right tyre choice. They're on wets at the moment, as the rest are hoping that the circuit is going to dry out. As Jack Tritton is chased across the line by Harpham and Rushforth there in that group, but lost out a bit of ground as they head into Redgate again. And let's see who's an army in the air for the 87 of Jack Tritton. And I think Jack Tritton has pulled off onto the inside, so a mechanical issue for the 87 car of Jack Tritton. He had a misfire issue yesterday, and certainly well off the pace from what I would normally expect to see him as the rest of the field stream through. Daniel Thompson making up a few grounds there, the 67 kart. And we've got a checkered flag being shown on our timing screen, which I think clearly is wrong, because it's not a checkered
everyone's still racing, so no doubt, but a flashing checkered flag symbol on our timing screen that I just mentioned earlier. Edwards in the pits,
and also the 44 of Jason Thompson, one of the 450 drivers, into a pit lane as we pick up the GP1 of Kirk Cattermole. Clearly Kirk there out on slick slides through the McLean's corner up towards Coppice. So Kirk, one of those guys that was pushed out. And 36 Tom Baldwin also out into the gravel trap. So the 36 of Tom Baldwin also out of this race. So they are dropping like flies, obviously, with these tricky conditions. Tom Baldwin on the outside of Coppice, but safely out of the cart. So the leaders already across the line. It's Robinson, Gulliford and Kinsey. And Liam Morley now up into 7th place behind the 33 of Mark Newton. Now Mark Newton obviously has made the right tyre choice.
Finding a bit of pace there, but Baldwin and Tritton obviously dropping down the order significantly. Goff up 7 on that lap, up to 10th position. Cattermole in 11th and Lombardo in 12th.
Yeah, so we saw Baldwin stuck at the side of the circuit, and John Faulkner leads Carl Hume into pit lane, and the 643 cart of Ollie Holmes. So that's a 125 cart up there in 14th place overall. So Ollie Holmes clearly has made the right decision on tyres, because we wouldn't expect to see Ollie up there battling against the Division 1 karts that have got potentially 60 brake horsepower more than him, as he dives up the inside of John Faulkner down through Craners and gets a move. So Ollie Holmes leading the 125 category and up to about 13th place overall. Mark Edwards decides that that's enough for him and pushes away the 68 cart. Wrong tyre choice for him, unfortunately, but it's still Robinson from Gulliford up at the front.
Into the pits comes the number 40 of Flewitt.
Alan Flewitt, the 450 driver. So we're picking up the class leader. So it's Lee Plain, the 101, that leads the 250 monos from the 29 of Tom Hatfield. Going to pick up the leader of the 450s. And that looks like it's the 12 kart of Kevin Ridley, as Liam Morley crosses the line and still there, the GP kart down in 7th place. We've got, 4 1/4 minutes left on the clock as the race starting to settle down a bit. This track's starting to dry out, so those drivers that were on slicks are starting to edge the way forward. Certainly Ollie Holmes doing a fantastic job on those wet tyres there in 13th place. Still up ahead of the 83 of Paul Von Gerard as they go through Redgate, and that's chased by the 185 of Aaron Powell. Leaders come across, and it's Gulliford that leads this time, but Robinson pulls out and alongside, and then switch back. Gulliford goes for the inside, going down into Redgate, and not quite close enough as they catch back markers as they're going to go through Hollywood and down the Craner Curve. So this lead battle between Gulliford and Robinson marches on, as Kinsey still there in 3rd place ahead of the leading 250 mono. That's the 101 of Lee Plain. Tom Hatfield comes across the line now, and the 29 car of Tom Hatfield there in 5th place, second in class. Then a lapped Chris Mackey, 45, as also is the 17 kart, and off has gone Gulliford, the 4 kart of Gulliford, who was challenging for the lead, and that is down through the Craner curves, so Gulliford trying to find a gear on that kart and either get it out of the way, or I don't think he's going to be able to restart it, as
just under 3 minutes to go.
And Morley side by side into Redgate, and that's a battle for 8th place, so wouldn't expect to see those guys that far back, but Ollie Holmes crosses the line behind the 83 of Von Gerard, and Ollie Holmes there in, let's see where he's now, 16th place, but still well ahead in the categories. We pick up Zero car, just seen flash through. That's Paul Platt, started from the back of the grid, 20th overall, but only 7th in class is Paul Platt. Sam Moss, who made an early pit stop, the 31 kart, and did he lose time? Because yes, well, down in 24th place. Now Sam Moss, I say, if he's made the right tyre choice now, certainly he's got some pace there, so we'll keep an eye on the 31 making up a few places.
Yeah, his last lap with the leaders of 1:15.2, whereas our leader Robinson said a 1:15.3, so clearly the track coming to him.
Well, it still looks greasy out there now, Andy.
Yeah.
I certainly wouldn't want to be out there in one of these. But,
the rain is coming in diagonally now at the start-finish straight, and we see we've got the
spinner. That's a 56 of Michael Goff spun it on the exit of Robert Chicane, but keeps the engine running and slots in behind the Rushforth Morley battle that was going on for 7th place. So Goff dropped some places back down to 8th, just ahead of the 43 of Sean Lombardo, and Goff obviously on the right tyres, because he's now first run out in a Division 1 category this weekend, and slides it up the inside of Morley, going down through Craner curves, and I wouldn't expect to move like that. So Morley is
really having fun out there, just pitching it in and catching it on the way out through the Craners and slightly through the old hairpin as well, passing the 62 there. That was that was a different class of car. We've got somebody down in the S's.
One car, that's Lee Harpham, was also pulled off out of the race, so the British champion also decided to park it up at the sideline. So Morley, as I say, clearly on the wrong tyres on slicks, but so far ahead in the championship at the moment. I think for him it's just a case of trying to bring it home and keep it safe.
But an opportunity presents itself for everybody, as you can see.
Michael Goff has now
seesawing at the wheel.
Exactly, Michael Goff has reclaimed the positions that he lost with that spin at Robert Chicane. So we're down to 29 seconds on the clock, and just trying to work out where Robinson has completed 7 laps, where he is on the circuit. Yes, he's coming down the exhibition straight now, the 84 kart, so I would expect to see the checker flag being readied as Morley starts his last lap, and a bit of a gaggle here between Lombardo and Rob Randall, but out of the final corner, and
here it is,
checker flag is being waved to the 84 of Matt Robinson, waiting for our 2nd place, and that could be going the way of the 5 kart of Kinsey as Ollie Holmes crosses the line.
What a massive gap for Robinson to win the race by extending that right out. I'm reading here a difference of a lap, but
well, we're still waiting for Kinsey to come through. The 5 kart crosses the line now, so Kinsey gets the 2nd place.
25.6 seconds he had over Kinsey. Robinson there
crosses the line. That's the 12 kart of Kevin Ridley home, so I think Kevin the winner of the 450s, but we'll try and confirm that. Tom Hatfield crosses the line to finish P2 in the 250 monos, the win going to the 101 of Lee Plain. And I'll leave Andy to read through the rest as I sort of try and juggle some numbers and try and get some chat downstairs.
Absolutely. Well, thanks for that, Gary. Well, yes, as I've said, Robinson Kinsey in Division 1 from Plain and Hatfield. In Division 1, then back in 3rd in division, but 5th overall was Newton from Goff, Rushforth, and then Morley, still yet to cross the finish line, does so now and secures 8th position on a bit of a damage limitation situation for him. Then we have Randall in the 250 coming in 3rd. So your F250 podium is Plain, Hatfield and Randall, with Lombardo, Catamol and Powell in the 185 coming home in 6th in class overall. Moss came home 13th, 7th in Division 1, and the winner of the F125 category was Holmes, who came in 14th overall, the 643. Von Gerard and Faulkner, Thompson, Division 1 drivers in 15th, 16th and 17th, and then back to the 250s for Platt and Burton, Holm came home in 20th position, and in the F450, winner was Ridley from Kritsis, and then back to Division 1 again for Burton. Flint got the podium in the F450s. We see Guest, O'Rourke, Connick, Reeder, Hearn and Barton finishing respectively into 30th position, but Hearn getting the podium, second place in the F125. And then outside of the top 30, Gerard came home 31st with McClintock, Busby and Benton behind them. Marks, Balderson, Powell again in the 62, in 37th. In 38th was Mackey, followed by Howarth, and third in the F125, 40th overall was Potkins. Bringing home then in 41st is A. Dudley, then Williams and Gulliford, Harpham and Clemson in 45th. In 46th was Henschel, followed by Flewitt and Baldwin. Then issues for everybody else going down the order, of course, non-finishers, truncated finish for them. So not finishing fully was Garford, Harpham, Clemson, Hemschel, Flewitt, Baldwin, Trinton, Bierger, Pask, Thompson, Edwards, which we saw in the pit lane, West, Parkinson, Lawrence, Foster and Baker to completely round everything out. And hopefully Gary is ready down in the pits with our podium. Our drivers just congratulating each other at the moment. Gary is with us. There we go, Gary. Over to you.
So as the carts make their way down the pit lane at the end of that race, so we'll have a quick word with Matt Robinson. So Matt, it was all about tyres.
It was, and we got it right, so that's finally done something right this weekend. We've got enough fuel in it for this one, so we made it to the end. But no, we could see it coming in the distance. It was just a matter of when. And with a 10-minute race, you didn't know if it was going to come in the race or after the race. And we went out on track at the start, and it was bone dry. And I thought, what have we done here? And then, yeah, 2 laps in, the heavens opened, and I thought, right, here we go.
And I thought Liam had also made the same changes. I looked out the rear of the window at the com box, and I thought he was changing tyres as well. But clearly, he didn't make that decision. No,
he changed to wets and then changed back to slick. So I think he got it wrong on this occasion. But yeah, I think once the rain came, it was, I mean, we went really low pressures because we was expecting it to be damp, not full wet. So we struggled a bit near the end when the tyres started going off. But I mean, yeah, a good little fight with Andy as well. I don't know what happened to him.
I think he lost it on the way down through Craners.
He needs to run out of talent that time, doesn't he?
Well done, Matt. Okay, so let's have a word. Unfortunately, Carl Kinsey, I think, has already gone back to the paddock. So we'll have a surprise result for you, Mark. 3rd place. Right tyre choice.
Yeah, definitely. I'm as shocked as what you are. Yeah, no, when I went out on the warm-up lap, I thought we made the wrong decision, but the skies opened up and we made the right choice.
I mean, everything went perfectly for you.
Yes, mate, yeah. Everyone was falling off, so it gave me a clear path to run straight through.
So more the same for next outing for you, Snetterton?
Yes, definitely, yeah, hopefully.
Great stuff. Well done, Mark. Okay, and we'll have a word with Lee Plain. So, Lee, winner of the 250 monos again. So, perfect weekend really for you.
Yeah, couldn't ask for anything better. Definitely all my stars aligned for this weekend. I thought I made the wrong tyre choice to begin with on the first couple laps, but you could see it coming, and I was just like, come on. And on the warm-up lap, I was trying to not put too much heat through them just in case. So, no, it turned out perfect in the end.
Well, I think actually you got P4 on the road, so you could see, I think, Mark and the guys in front of you. So I'm not sure Tom was fair way back behind you.
Oh, right, yeah. So, yeah, no, I'm chuffed.
More valuable points.
Yeah, definitely. Points make prices.
Well done, Lee. Right, let's catch Ollie again. So, Ollie, you're making a habit of this. You must be over the moon with this weekend. 3 starts, 3 wins.
Yeah, it's good, isn't it? I'll tell you what, that in the wet's awesome. Clark Motorsport, wow. It just got around everything.
Well, I know when Daniel drove it at Cadwell Park back in May, and he said how quick it was in the wet. So.
Oh yeah, it's unbelievable. In and outside of everything, wherever you want it, it's there.
So I said yesterday, I mean, do you want to go back to the 250 or are we going to see you out in this one again?
Well, depends what the budget allows, but if it's wet, it'll be that.
Great stuff. Well done, Ollie. And let's have a quick word with Kevin Ridley. So Kevin, winner again in the 450s. I didn't quite see how close Catherine was to you this time, but really a perfect weekend, and the rights. Well, actually, no, you're on slick, so yeah, very dodgy out there.
I was lucky, really. When I first went onto the track, I thought, yes, that's the right tyre choice. And I got some heat in the tyre, and I thought, here we go, we're going to win this. And then the heavens opened. So it was basically a race of just hanging on in there, just taking it steady. I had it sideways down Craner several times.
All good fun.
Yeah, it was great fun. I've had a great day. Brilliant.
Great stuff. Well done, Kevin. Okay, so that's, yeah, one last word actually from our winner, Matt.
I think this race, my granddad passed away last week, and he was a massive part of our whole racing setup. So I just wanted to dedicate this win to him. Unfortunately, he's not with us anymore. But yeah, this one's for you, Granddad.
A great supporter.
A massively great supporter, and I think he's going to be missed by friends, family, everyone in the paddock. So yeah, it's good to get the win in his honour. So thanks.
Well done, Matt. Okay, so that concludes the Superkart action for this weekend at Donington. If you want to see Superkarts again, the next round of the Super Series will be at Snetterton in August, but some of these guys will be racing at the Dutch Superkart Grand Prix at Assen on the 10th, 11th and 12th of August. So look forward to some more great Superkart action.